With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels on everything from lamps to ceiling fans, even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes, now available in crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox, clean feels good.
British Spy Stories, Season 5. Kill or Be Killed. Episode 21. The dark grey Range Rover SUV with blacked-out windows drops Gabby at Paddington Station in central London. She makes her way through the crowds of tourists and locals, arriving and departing at the station. She walks to platform 7 to catch the express train to Heathrow Airport. The journey is only 15 minutes, but it gives her a small block of time to consider what she needs to do now that Sir Bernard has agreed the plan to stop Rose Froissart from attacking the Seagrass Array. On her phone, she goes into Oberon, the MI6 operations system. She places orders for the equipment she'll need to complete this expanded operation. Gabby also orders a new cover life for Kate that will be constructed by Comms Branch over the next 12 hours. When she reaches the airport, Gabby finds a door along a deserted corridor that only has the letters and numbers CQ09 displayed on a small brass plaque screwed to the wood. She turns the handle and steps inside. This room houses the MI6 Transport Management Team, and they already know that she's arriving. They're holding the next Paris flight for her, due to her rank. She's led to a side door that leads immediately to the top of a set of spiral stairs. At the bottom, an electric luggage cart is waiting on the tarmac. The driver takes a direct route across the airport, past aircraft bound for the four corners of the earth. In the sky above the terminal building, a 747 finishes its descent from Japan and touches down on the allocated arrivals runway. The electric cart stops next to the front wheels of a British Airways A320, and Gabby dives in through the entrance door of the jet bridge staircase. She emerges at the top next to the open door of the plane, and an air hostess shows her into seat A1. Immediately, the hostess tells the captain of their guest's arrival, and the door is swung shut before the craft starts to taxi back off the gate. When she lands in Paris, Gabby goes to her encrypted inbox on her phone. Kate has arrived in the city, and Hans is on his way. She takes a taxi to Avenue Foch, which runs west, from the tortuous roundabout around the Arc de Triomphe to Port Dauphin. This avenue, bathed in a golden glow of the midday sun, contains some of the most prestigious properties in the city. She pays the driver and walks to one of the Haussmannian-style apartment blocks on the north side of the road. The man at the reception desk directs her, and she takes a lift to the penthouse. When she rings the bell with her gloved finger, there's a moment's pause. Then Salvatore Albano opens the door. The Italian man shows her around the flat. There are 4 bedrooms and 2 enormous reception rooms, all a mass of intricately decorated gold cornices and pearl-white mouldings. The balcony from the sitting room looks out over the gaggle of cars, vans and people on the avenue. Salvatore opens a bottle of Piper Heinzig Horseserie 82 champagne, and they stand on the balcony watching the scene from above as they casually chat. He has cooked risotto alla Milanese, and they eat at a round table near the rectangular windows. Laravel had let Gabby know a few days ago that Hans is getting very comfortable with his cover life as a rich man, and, at that moment, Gabby understands that completely. This job requires you to live another life for a few days or weeks, and pretend to everyone around you, so that they trust you and believe that you're real. Then, it all ends, suddenly, and you go back to being you. She's used to it, but she'll need to say something to Hans to make sure he's okay. After food, she says, I need to talk to you about our plan, Salvatore. The robbery is going to be this week, the day after tomorrow. Are you sure about all this? Couldn't you just tell me about crime? There's nothing like doing something yourself to find out what it's really like. She smiles. You won't need to do much anyway. You're the driver, but I want you to feel what it's like. You love this excitement, he says. I can tell by your eyes. Being the heiress to a diamond fortune sounds like a dream, doesn't it? An amused look plays in his eyes. It's not, though. Everything was planned in my childhood. Money solved all problems and inconveniences. Schools, holidays, parties, and later cars and yachts. She gets into the swing of her ideas about wealth. You, Salvatore, had to work for your money. I didn't. I could have swanned around my whole life in Saint-Tropez or somewhere, with a perfect tan and a husband who I never saw. It wasn't enough. I've always wanted unpredictability. So I decided to create it for myself when I was a teenager. And I've been doing it ever since. As she's speaking, Gabby knows that some of those words are about her real life, and not about the fictional one of Lady Harwood. Your life is very safe, though, he says. You'll still inherit hundreds of millions when your father dies. Have you been checking up on my family's wealth? She leans over, and play hits him on the arm. I might cash it all in, for chips in Monte Carlo, and put everything on red. What do you think? Her eyes light up, and they chink their champagne flutes. The robbery. I've written down all the details. Gabby walks to her Louis Vuitton Capucine BB bag that she left on the chair. She fishes out a stapled set of papers. She offers them to him. Here. Salvatore takes them from her hand, leaving his fingerprints as the only DNA on the pages, after Gabby wiped the rest off before arriving. The timings are detailed on the first page, she says. You'll need to go to that first address and pick up the van at 9 in the morning. All right, he says, warming to the idea of crime, as she seems to be making it easier than he thought. Gabby continues. I have 3 colleagues who'll be helping us. We'll all be waiting for you on the corner of Rue Guesson, which is on the map on page 2. Then it's half an hour drive to Pantin, where we'll park up and wait for our quarry to arrive. The route they take borders the Canal de l'Orque, and that road is largely deserted. And I just drive? She opens her eyes wider. Read what it says on the pages. You'll get a flavour of your new life of crime, and we'll get some military secrets to sell. What about afterwards? What do you mean? She says. Are you and I going to continue stealing? The air hangs around them as she assesses her best response. You'll be on your own after this, Salvatore. You're the main guy. I'm just the cleaning lady. I don't believe you, he says. Gabby waits to let him say more. You're very practiced at all this, Imogen. Far too competent, given how you talk about yourself as just a minor player. You're obviously a leader, a mover, a shaker. But I've never heard of you before. She stands up and kicks off her shoes. She moves towards him, indicating for him to swing his legs out from beneath the table. Then she sits on his lap. She's close in. They can feel each other's breath on their faces. I can do many things, Salvatore. She kisses him and he says, You're not going to tell me what those are you? She doesn't answer, stands up and offers her hand for him to take. 2 hours later, after they've been to bed, Gabby showers and dresses. I'm going. Just be there with the van. The day after tomorrow at 9. My friends will do the rest. The cafe around the corner from the police headquarters in Brussels is always busy, and today the place is crammed full of people, queuing, drinking and talking in every square inch of the place. Emile Dame's boss pushes through the crowd and deposits 2 cups of coffee on a shelf fixed to the wall that acts as a table in front of their high stools. Chief Inspector Henri Gollard is a small man with wire glasses and a mass of blonde hair. Any news on the money launderer, Emile? No, Chief. We know he went to the station 3 days ago, but we can't trace him. We posted an Interpol red notice for his arrest and asked them for a facial recognition trawl from the CCTV cameras at stations across Europe. And? We're chasing them, Chief. He holds his hands out to signify that they haven't responded yet. The Chief Inspector makes a show of sighing and pulls out his mobile phone. Dames drinks his coffee as his boss talks to an inspector he knows in Interpol. Over the next 2 minutes, Gollard only makes various affirmative noises to the man on the other end of the line and doesn't stop scribbling on his notepad with a short pencil. Gollard puts his phone down on the counter when he's finished. They've got an image of Louis Jacobs at Grenoble station, waiting for a taxi. This is the taxi firm's name and address. He tears off a page from his notepad and hands it to Emile. 2:10 in the afternoon, on Monday. Grenoble is the nearest station to Chateau Forsyth, isn't it, Emile? Yes, Chief. You need to call the taxi firm and find out where he went. Then get down there. I'm not letting him slip away. The Paris rush hour has started to die down when Gabby arrives back at her flat on Avenue Montaigne. The curtains are open in the living room and the lights from the traffic on the street refract through droplets on the panes. Laravel, Kate and Hans are sitting by the grand windows of the apartment, chatting over wine. There's a glass here for you, Gab, calls Hans across the room, and she dumps her coat, then walks to them and sits on the sofa next to Laravel. Gabby looks around the group. When her gaze reaches Kate, she can see bruising that runs from the woman's right eye to her jawline. That looks nasty. Kate touches her face. It's nothing. 2 parcels arrived earlier for you on Annabelle, says Laravel, referring to the MI6 Covert Logistics Network, which allows any goods to be transported across international borders without the need for customs checks or arousing suspicion of the authorities. Some of that is for the robbery. The rest is for seagrass, says Gabby. We can check it all tomorrow. I'm cooking tonight, says Hans. Shepherd's pie. It's my mum's recipe. His face lights up, and the women exchange glances of amusement as he walks away and through double glass doors to the La Cornue bespoke kitchen in the next room. I'll give you a hand, says Laravel, and she follows him. Kate pours a glass of wine for Gabby. Tell me about what happened in Switzerland, Kate. Riverside got shot. He's in a military hospital recovering. We were attacked. The person who stole my data was trying to cover their tracks. Sir Bernard told me that you went on a solo attack. You could have called me. I operate very well alone, Gab, she says. I recovered my data, but the news that is not on Oberon is the name of the person who leaked the data. Leaked? I thought you said it was stolen. He arranged to leak it, might be a better description, says Kate. It was Henry Caldwell. Gabby's training prevents her from showing any surprise. He's a computer whiz, isn't he? As well as an art genius, continues Kate. Sad story, really. He needed the money. He's a bad gambler and got in with some rich men's poker club. Ended up betting everything on the turn of a card. He hadn't told his wife or anyone else. It came down to selling the family house or selling secrets. He thought he could get away with it. like all gamblers do. Gabby drinks a mouthful of wine. And where is he now? Belgravia police station. High security area. He went before a closed court yesterday. They rushed through the sentencing decision and he got 20 years. He'd only just started as head of operations in Europe, hadn't he? Kate nods. It leaves a vacancy again, and Sir Bernard will be asking you if you're interested again, especially when we get a home run on this seagrass operation. I'm never moving from the field, Kate. You know that. They toast the idea with their wine. After food, Kate opens another bottle of Chateau Latour Premier Grand Cru, and she and Laravel return to the chairs by the window. The rain has continued to patter on the glass all evening, creating rivulets that chase downwards towards earth. Hans and Gabby clear up the kitchen, and she takes the opportunity to talk to him alone. Are you okay with still being undercover, Gordon? She says.
Yeah, of course I am, Gab.
This whole thing will only work if we keep front of mind that these cover lives are fictional. She looks directly at him. Rose is dangerous. She'll kill anyone who gets in her way. But we can't fall for her expensive lifestyle and luxury. After it's over, we'll walk away and not look back.
I know,
says Hans. I trust you more than anyone, Gordon. Don't let me down, will you?
Never, Gab.
After the dishwasher is stacked, they walk back to the others, and they're talking about their childhoods. Yours was all boarding schools and lacrosse, wasn't it, Kate? It was. I'm not complaining.
How did your family get their money?
Says Hans. My mother was married to some rich guy straight out of university. He swept her off her feet. She got pregnant almost straight away, but he ran. Kate looks at the others, then continues. She got a few £1,000,000 from the divorce, but on the condition that she gave up their child for adoption and never tried to contact the baby or the rich guy again. But that wasn't your dad, says Laravel. It was. My mother still loved him, and he visited London for one night after they divorced, and I was the result. By the morning he was gone again.
Did your mother never tell you who he was?
Says Hans. Never. She was scared of losing the money that funded her lifestyle. She's dead now, anyway, so I'll never know.
But that man funded your private schooling and holidays and everything,
says Hans.
And you've got a sibling who you've never met. I could research it for you. There'll be something somewhere. I've got a mate in research branch who knows all the tricks.
Okay. Thanks, Gordon, says Kate. 15 minutes away, in his apartment, Salvatore Albano picks up his mobile phone. When the call is answered, he talks in Italian.
Roberto, I need you to investigate someone for me. She's called Imogen Harwood. I need to know everything. Her childhood, schools, addresses, friends, lovers, police records, the lot.
He listens to what the man says.
Yeah, it's urgent. I need it by tomorrow. Pay your contacts, Roberto. I need to know the truth about Imogen Harwood.